Whoa, and there we go. Hey guys, what's going on? Driving Speakerbox time. Sorry for the little bit of a late arrival. We were just getting the things going, you know, pouring ourselves a hot piping, steaming cup of. It's supposed to be a butt, but now it looks like a nutsack. And now now that I'm looking at it on screen, it totally looks like I'm drinking out of a nutsack. But hey, I found this in the cabinet at the Fall Labs. So cheers to nutsack cups here.
A butt sack.
A butt sack. But yes, if you were just now tuning in, this is Driving Speakerbox, the best in film scores, soundtracks, movie news, and all of that fun stuff. I, of course, am the boom operator.
And I'm the grip.
And we have got movies to talk about. We got movies to talk about tonight. And we're going to be talking about a film that the grip went and saw.
Yeah, I watched the Fighting with My Family film. Not to be confused with the documentary of the same name.
There's a documentary?
Yeah, that's what they based the film on.
I had no idea. Have you seen the documentary?
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got both perspectives coming in hot, live, fresh, ready to order right here on the Driving Speakerbox. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about the Academy Awards, aka the Oscars, which neither of us really enjoy or put any stock in whatsoever.
I saw a lot of people on their Snapchat were having parties and events and getting dressed up.
Yeah,
out on the town,
people love
bets on it.
And yes, McLean, it does look like it. I think I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to turn it and drink it from this side. And I don't know if that's better. It's still pretty nutsacky, but yes. But we're going to be talking about the Academy Awards and what's coming out in theaters this week. We're going to be talking about all kinds of fun stuff. So thanks for joining. Yeah, movies, smallest night, indeed. If you've ever listened to the show regularly, I mean, I've been doing this for a really, really long time, and you will know that I think that the Academy Awards are a long history of absolute garbage. I think that they're
self-congratulations.
Yeah, it's self-congratulatory, back-patting nonsense. It's always been stupid. The system is very, very broken, and YouTube players streaming tech talk on the chat. But the system's broken. It's always been broken, and I don't think it's not fixed yet. And I think that it's going to take a lot of process and a lot of evolution. But we are going to get to that later. Let's talk about wrestling. I know, I never want to talk about wrestling. Why? Because
I like wrestling.
What does your shirt say?
Dude, it's Becky Lynch. It's the man. It's part of the women's revolution that the whole Fighting with My Family thing tries to make itself out to be a big part.
It's wrestling stuff.
Yeah, it's wrestling stuff, man. Current events in the world of WWE and wrestling at large, because you got All Elite Wrestling trying to hone in on WWE stuff, competing with New Japan and ROH. And
what is all these acronyms? I mean, my foray into professional wrestling stopped at the NWO. That's as far as I ever went with it.
Just the other day, they have NWO title belts for sale now.
Like, wait, is the NWO still a thing?
No.
Okay.
But Bullet Club is.
I don't know what that is.
They have NWO title belts you can buy like as a toy. So my brother and I were both at the store. So of course
buying wrestling toys?
No, but walking through the toy section when I happened to find the NWO belt. So I handed the phone to my brother, put on the NWO theme, and had him film me doing the wow.
Isn't this what they do?
Title? Yeah, dude. Yeah, Wolfpack, Too Sweet. Yeah, man. But
I was one more.
I was Hollywood Hulkster with my NWO belt, man.
But speaking of Hollywood Hulkster, that is exactly where I'm going. Did you hear the news about Chris Hemsworth?
I did. And I've seen the memes. I've been sharing the memes.
And he signed on to do a Hulk Hogan biopic. And how do you? Oh, okay. I was about to say, how do you feel about it?
Not great, man.
What?
Hemsworth.
I mean, you think
as the Hulkster?
Do you think that Hemsworth is gonna bring the Hulkamania, brother?
Well, how's it gonna? Where's it gonna take place? Is it gonna be pure '80s Hogan? Is it gonna get into NWO? Is it gonna be like the whole lifespan of the Hulkster thus far?
Is it going to be Suburban Commando?
That's what I'm saying. I hope that we get some Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny behind the scenes.
And then Over the Top. No, he wasn't in Over the Top. That was No Holds Barred. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah, No Holds Barred.
Rip 'em. Dude, I have a Rip 'em t-shirt, too.
I am a real American.
Played by an Australian.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be the new one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Chris Hemsworth trying to don the Hulkamania. It's gonna be.
yeah, because is it gonna have him when he teams up with Classy Freddie Blassie when the Hulkster was actually a bad guy? Is it gonna have him as Thunder Lips?
I don't know.
So do you get to see the WWF? When Vince McMahon Sr. fired Hulk Hogan for wanting to be in Rocky III, and then the success of Rocky III making wrestling more popular than ever, and everyone wanted to see Thunder Lips for real, but they couldn't because he got fired, so then Hulkster renegotiated his contract, and he became the Hulkster, and Hulkamania was born, and he defeated Iron Sheik, the only one to ever break the camel clutch. Is he going to have that?
The camel what?
The camel clutch, dude. I break you. I make you humble.
Oh, that can.
Yeah.
Not this camel.
No.
The camel toe.
No, dude.
Yeah. Does the Iron Sheik, does he have a move? I wish he had a move called the camel toe.
No, but he did have big elven toe boot things.
The Iron Sheik was talking smack on Twitter the other day.
The Iron Sheik is always talking smack. That's what he does.
I'm surprised the Iron Sheik is alive.
Yeah, dude, he's like 70-something years old, and he just talks mad trash all the time.
Hey, if you're an old wrestler, you do you, boo. You do you. But anyway, that's a little bit of film news coming out. P.S. Check out these new mics. Check out these mic arms. It's like we're back in the studio again. It's like the studio is slowly evolving because...
We just need to break these a little bit, make them super loose.
Yeah, make them janky, make them barely hanging together. It'll be just like back in the old KXUA studio days. We'll tear the stock filter off. And, it seemed like only a couple weeks ago. But give it up to Bo Labs right here. Check out Tats Live, graciously opening their doors as we are trying to build this new studio. It's going to be coming in pieces. We're going to be consistently improving things around here as we grow our online presence of the show, which, bringing that up, like, subscribe, share, smash, all of that stuff. Let's penetrate the internet with some Drive-In Speakerbox. So I need you to get up on that Facebook, get up on that YouTube, and we have a YouTube URL. It's like youtube.com/the Drive-In Speakerbox. Tight. So tell your friends, tell your families, tell your grandmas. We trend real well with grandmas. So
nice.
So send
gotta
a
respect your grandma.
Self-addressed stamped envelope to the Drive-In Speakerbox, Chicago, Illinois 60653. Isn't that how it goes? Well, hey, John, what's up, man? Checking us out from the land afar. No longer here in Northwest Arkansas, but yeah. As we progress, we're going to be upgrading the technology. Oh, you guys have the same hot dog? Oh, well, we can all squeeze our hot dogs together. How about that? Don't tell your kid. That's not family values. We should never do that. Scratch that from the record. Let's talk about movies. Let's not talk about me squeezing hot dogs with your family. Let's talk about. There's not a whole lot of news coming in. You know what? Let's talk about True Detective Season 3 finally coming to a close.
I saw some negative reactions earlier.
I did too. Saw a lot of them. No spoiler alerts. I don't do spoiler alerts, but I do I told you so's. And I have a feeling that when the whole Where's Waldo effect of True Detective Season 3 comes to a close, and we're able to objectively view this season as kind of a independent piece. It's kind of like when you finally get over an ex or something, and you're able to see them for what they truly are. And you're like, man, why did I ever? And I have a feeling that maybe True Detective Season 3 is going to be a little bit like that. I mean, it's still cool that they shot it here. It's pretty neat. We got our little taste of fame. But I think a lot of us were looking at this show through rose-colored goggles, or actually rose-colored magnifying glasses in the background. We're like, oh my, that's Cousin Tommy! And that's where I go pump gas, oh my goodness. And now that that's over, they're never, ever, 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 ever going to be able to recreate the magic that was Season 1. Never. Never, ever, ever going to be able to do that. And, they're going to keep trying. They're going to keep pushing this sort of, if it makes money, then let's keep doing it. And they struck gold once, and lightning doesn't strike in the same place more than twice. I mean, it'll get there maybe eventually, but not quickly. Not quickly. And so, True Detective Season 3 coming to a close the same time as Oscar night. Dina come in, never cared about the local thing. I liked the story, but it wasn't over the moon about it. Honestly, I really liked the ending. It was a little bit different turn, and I'm not mad at the ending either. I kind of feel like it is a little bit of bamboozling the audience, which I always like when it doesn't kind of just give people spoon-fed. I mean, it was a little spoon-fed, but
sometimes those, though, are the ones that people come back to. Like, it's actually pretty good. Because reasons it makes you think.
And yes, McClane, long live the King in Yellow. That was the one true detective. Truth. So, man, this hot dog. Did you squish this thing? Squish my hot dog. Just wrap your hands around it and give it a little tug. Come on, it feels good.
Tug of the dog.
I mean, doesn't it?
The bread. Actually, it does feel like fresh baked bread. Like, now we're subject to internet edits.
Yes,
it's gonna ruin
everything.
It's actually pretty cool.
I know it's a good little wiener. Nice, soft, gets the job done. Not too big.
Is this a dog toy? Is it like a stress?
I think it's just fun.
Just Walmart kids.
Yeah, man. Everybody needs a good squishy wiener.
I need to get one because now whenever someone's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, dude."
Yeah, like
smashing my dog.
What has this show become? Anyway, yeah. Sorry, Vince, but yeah, True Detective Season 3 out of here. And another thing I want to talk about. Speaking of shows, speaking of controversial things on television, HBO's Leaving Neverland. That's coming out. The trailer is got everybody speculating about, oh, Michael Jackson, did he suck those kids' dicks? I don't know.
What?
We don't know. We're going to find out. Like, mysteries are afoot.
Just go full Dave Chappelle with that.
I mean, probably. Like the cure for cancer's in it.
Put you on a roller coaster, suck your dick.
Yeah. And so
that's what I call being a good host. Yeah, that's the Dave Chappelle joke.
He was a good host, but
he feeds you, he lets you ride his roller coaster, pet his monkey, sucks your dick.
And all laughing aside, we love to bring humor to things that are difficult to talk about, and hence the squishy wiener, but. Just off of the coattails of the surviving R. Kelly documentary that has, basically put him in prison. He's not there yet, but he's going to go to jail. Like, do not pass go, do not pass Sex Planet. It's going to be Sex Planet and Cell Block, R. And, that is pretty disturbing, Vince. But the thing that I want to bring up and this is a kind of an important thing, and this is a sensitive subject, you know, and I like taking sensitive subjects and talking about them objectively, and you know, coming at them from all sides, a little bit like R. Kelly, you know, but separating the art from the artist. This is a very sticky subject that you know has been a problem not just in music but also in movies. You know, there and writers and authors. Remember when Conan Milius, John Milius, everybody loathsome dude. You know, but everyone wanted to, you know, ban him because of the things that he did, and words that he said, and whoever wrote Ender's Game. Remember when Ender's Game became a movie, and they were talking about what a piece of shit.
Which time?
The movie, the one with Harrison Ford in it. Wasn't he in that?
Anyway, the newest.
Yeah, the newest one. But that author, everyone's like, what a piece of shit, ban the movie, and you know, director, pedophile, famous, come on, directed Pirates with Walter Matthau. Man, you know, this is why live television's hard. Let's see here. Movie, let me do this.
I mean, right? It's not like it was a few years ago where you're like, oh, that dude who got in trouble for being like a weird sex fiend in movies. You're like, oh, that guy? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Now you're like, let me run through the list real quick.
Well, and you almost have to. That's the point. Let's get straight to the point. I guess my point is, artists are weird. They've always been weird. They think about things differently than you and I do. They look at the world through a different lens. They hear things differently. They express themselves differently. And, you know, sometimes we celebrate the worst parts of their expression. And that's why they become famous. And, you know, we live in a time now where we are hyper aware of all the personal comings and goings, or comings on and whatever, of everybody that we're into.
Mental romance.
Yes. But, you know, we live in a time where information about personal lives are closer than they've ever been to being availability. Like paparazzi is a way of life now. And being able to get a background search or find something that someone did in college at a party in the 60s when the times were different then. It doesn't mean that was good. It doesn't mean that it was acceptable now. But, you know, at the time, things were different. Contexts were different, especially when the people that are judging these people weren't alive at those times and didn't understand those times on a day-to-day basis. You could flip through a history book and go, well, I get it, but you're a piece of shit, and go to jail. But where I'm getting is that separating the art from the artist is so difficult because I guarantee you, if you were to put every artist that had ever made a masterwork under a microscope, there's gonna be some skeletons in those closets. Like, you know, you want to tell me the Beatles never pissed on someone's face? Like, you better believe they did, you know, or had sex with an underage girl, or 100 of them at the same time. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're on record talking about, oh man, you know, it was crazy. We'd go into these rooms and there was hundreds of thousands of dames, and we just, you know, stuck our peckers wherever they could fit, you know, and like, and like that was the world. Like, people were exploring like this new crazy shit, and you know, and with art comes substance, and with substance comes, you know, crazy, and you know, but then we're like, oh yeah, you know, Strawberry Fields, it's so cool, let's smoke weed and make a movie about it, and it's like, oh, let's break another law and talk about breaking these laws that are acceptable to break now by today's standards. See, yeah, Dina, Paul McCartney talked openly about group masturbation, you know, but yo, hey, and John Lennon beat his wife, yes, but yo,
which one?
But you know,
Yoko?
The Beatles are so good. No one's good. No one is good. And when you amplify the inherent evil in all of us with fucking money and power, like, and women or men or sex, and you think that people aren't going to start slipping? Like, come on. You know?
Yeah.
And yes, those people can die in a dumpster fire eventually. They will get what's gone to them if you believe in any cosmic, repercussions. But if you don't, like, can we at least say that Thriller was tight? You know? Can we say
this is?
Can we say
just
that?
be like, dude, Thriller's sick. You know what? Fuck Thriller.
Hey, Off the Wall's better.
Okay,
I
there we
feel
go.
you.
That was my point. That's where I'm going to make my stand always. Is that Off the Wall is the best one?
The far superior Michael Jackson album. But you know, when you get all in this fighting, can you just stop and go? Step in the Name of Love was a freaking great jam. You know.
Also, Michael Jackson did a lot.
And then
for people,
Ignition remix,
Man in the Mirror. He did he helped out the peoples of the Caribbean, however you want it to be.
Well,
because to make the world a better place,
gotta look at yourself.
That's where you make that change. No.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, as we get further and further into, and here's the really sick part of it, that me, boom operator, personal opinions here. We're going to, the kind of turning the lens back at humanity that bothers me is that this sort of justice warrior as entertainment is getting more and more popular. It's like people are going, oh yeah, I really like this documentary on this piece of shit. Let's get him from the comfort of my chair. And like it's almost like interactive mob mentality, and it's interactive like Death Race or The Running Man, where it's like if it's behind the TV, it's not real. So let's see him get like martyred and think it's fun. I mean, shit, they did it to Jesus, and they all thought it was cool back then. It's tight, throw him to the lions.
I wanted that,
for
Ben Richards.
Yeah,
it's my money,
and
I think that Ben Richards is one mean son of a bitch.
And that's humans. And here's where I get a little weirded out by it is
someone could have the tapes of the real events, and it turns out that he didn't machine gun those people. And that Jesse Ventura
was innocent all along. What was his name? Captain what?
Well, Jesse Ventura was like
he was the
he didn't want to fight on him.
Yeah, at the end, right? And he had the shiny box armor.
No, he was in like the American flag.
Oh well, who was in the shiny box armor? No, I'm pretty sure that was Jesse Ventura.
The shiny box armor. Well, they wanted him to wear the armor, and he's like, "This is stupid.
Because it was stupid." Here, Jesse.
I mean, you can't.
Oh, it's not working.
Can't talk about Running Man without having me being like, yeah, dude.
I can't talk about Running Man without looking up Jesse the Body Ventura. Because, dude, the costume design in that movie was super sick.
Yeah, the suit he's in for 3 seconds, and he's like, forget this.
Yeah, look at this.
Talking about wrestling again.
Looking like a big old toaster. Mm. And then, I remember this dude who was like, oh, wait, I got to go over to the window. I'm just clicking the wrong things. Like, and then this dude, the opera guy, like, oh, man. Running Man was tight. But Running Man, that movie is silly and hilarious, but is also based on a piece of science fiction that is kind of starting to hit the nail on the head with what's happening in current entertainment, is we like watching people suffer. And, before it's like, oh, well, we'll create these fake narratives and fantasy, and, we'll watch these stories unfold where people suffer and then find redemption. But now that's not enough. We want to see real suffering. And we want to watch people fall from grace. We want to rip it away from them because we never got that. We never got famous, and we never had Lamborghinis. We never got to pee on any teenagers. Like, we got to take it away from them. And
that's the aspiration.
I mean, yes! You know that there's some mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging, like, troglodyte out there watching the driving Speakerbox going, oh, man, how did he know? My secret desires.
Hey, and shout out to you. Thanks for liking and
subscribing.
subscribing.
Yeah. just smash that like button. Tell your friends. Tell your other troglodyte friends to subscribe to the Driving Speakerbox. But the point I'm getting is this. Separating art from the artist is important. And as we get more hyper aware of how completely batshit insane artists tend to be, like, it gets really tricky. It's how do you support these things? How do you enjoy this art? How do you interpret this stuff without making these people famous? But here's the weird part. Bad Baby is a millionaire now. Yeah. Cash Me Outside? How about that? Like, that 13-year-old crack addict, like, insane, undereducated, misbehaving child is now a millionaire because we liked watching it.
You need to get a tally board for how many times we
talk about Bad Baby, because that is the distillation of how freaking broken everything is right now. And you know, we can keep thinking that we're so pure and so important and so, like, not responsible for how crappy everything around is, but we are, you know. And until we start to look at the man in the mirror, you know, take a look at yourself and make that change. You gotta flip that. You gotta flip that lens.
Talking about award shows and people that do things that they would normally get in trouble for and whatnot. Did you see that Ice Cube was not down with the idea of Cardi B getting any praise at the Grammys or whatever that was, like a week or two ago?
Have you listened to a Cardi B song?
Oh yeah, straight up. He was pissed, and he was like, she's not rap, and she was nominated for rap. This is terrible. This is what's wrong with everything. Also, she's like a skank, and forget her.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, straight up. Ice Cube was not down with that. How about that?
But Dina, going back to Bad Baby.
If you rap about your history, then everyone thinks you're cool.
That's true. But Dina, TMC, yeah, did like the money she made, and they, yeah. So that PR train keeps rolling because, yes, we keep falling for it. We keep clicking on it. We keep paying for that premium content. And
dude, if I had a time machine, go back and be the guy that makes TMZ. They own a record label too.
They own a lot.
Yeah, make your primary brand so big that no one even knows about the other things you got your hands in, and so you're just a gigantic media, massive monopoly thing.
Oh, dude,
that's incredibly crazy. Smart. You just hire some idiots to scream at a camera and drink coffee in a room, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's insane,"
and they watch it.
Celebrities drive limos. That's crazy.
What? Some celebrities don't even wear panties. Imagine that. I don't know. Let's talk about movies. Let's talk about some more movies. Let's talk about what's coming out this weekend. Not much is the answer right there.
You know what? Before we get too far into that the Indian movie, the Hindi movie that you were like, yo, go watch this.
It's in theaters right now?
Yeah. Can't remember the name of it. It's part 3. It's like the third in a series. Dude, I watched the trailer for it several times. It's like, it looks just like it's a mad world.
Well, then you definitely have to go see it.
I know, dude. I thought about it, but I don't think we got it.
No, I don't think we got it yet. We might.
And I've seen It's a Mad World like 100 times. And I watched Rat Race like twice.
Did you watch? Okay, yeah, I guess I can't do that. But yes, John, bad press sells great. We should get involved in a scandal. Yeah, Driving Speakerbox scandal. I don't think anybody would care. But yes, Dina, to Dina's comment from YouTube, that's called a reality show, and they are producing a reality show around her. And I have a metric that I always tell people. And because people ask me, because I worked in reality television for a long time, and everyone's like, is it so fake? Is it scripted? How does reality TV work? And I go, all right, look, if you want to find out, if you want to watch and look for some sort of qualifying moment that tells you when a scene is bullshit, and I love this. And it's like, somebody's face will be blurred out, and it's like the tow truck guy will come and start towing a person. The person runs out of the store, and their face is blurred out. But you can hear every word they say with unbelievably unmuffled clarity? That's because prior to him running out of the store, or her running out of the store, the sound guy went and mic'd them up, and they're wearing a wire, and the whole scene is produced. That's how it works. And, camera guys need to know, where to point the camera, how to get those scenes, how to get those establishing shots. Because cameraman has to point the camera at the door to see the door open. How else are you going to know that there's a guy coming out of there? Well, if you hear the door open and then you point the camera at it, you're never going to see the door open. So you got to stage the guy coming out of the door. You just got to put it together in your head. All the shit is produced. And sorry, Sam, sorry to bust your bubble there. Even bait car. Actually, I mean, do you guys not remember when American Pickers got in such a big, there was a little bit of a scandal where they're planting antiques into these storage units. But guess what? No one ended up giving a shit because people were like, we think it's fun.
But remember when it happened on the Storage Wars, and that was like the first time for one of those shows, and they got sued over it really big.
Yeah.
And so now they have a disclaimer at the beginning of that show that says, maybe not
to our knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all.
Maybe not all of these were found in this unit, but.
Disclaimers.
Yeah.
It's called CYA in the biz. And I think CYA actually carries over to a lot of people's business, and it means cover your ass. And,
That's true. Anytime someone is not blurred out on TV, it's because they signed
a release form.
They're like, forget you, I'll kill you, I think you piece of crap.
And then they go, excuse me, man, will you fill out this paperwork?
I would love to be on TV.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Or they're like, hey, will you sign this and be on TV? They're like, I love it. And like, now your character.
Now you're going to get real mad.
You're going to call this woman a whore, and then you're going to slap him in the dick, and then you're just going to go on a tirade. Could you break that property over there? And she's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I wanted to be on TV.
You mean I get to throw that vase?
And
you're like, yes, you do. Throw that vase. The vase sponsored you by Pottery Barn. Mm-hmm. And anyway, yeah, it's all bullshit, and it's all entertainment, and we eat it up, and we create more of it. And so, as a film critic, as a film historian, as a person who wastes way too much time watching content, I want you guys to be better prepared for this sham that is getting your money. And also be held accountable for when the shit that you asked for comes back and bites society in the butt and isn't acceptable anymore. We go, well, we did like it back then. You remember when, what's his name? Was it James Gunn got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy for some shit he tweeted like 12 years ago, back when he was doing, Rogan-style comedy? And it's like, well, if you go do your homework, everybody loved that shit. Even the people that are like, oh, no, you're bad. But nobody wants to admit that they did bad shit.
I'm just getting really tickled right now about the idea of someone who's in that situation for real. There's like the boom operator running with all of his packs, like holding it above him, and this person's just like breaking everything and yelling at people. But there's a boom mic like this far above, like, get that out of here, and the boom mic has like,
woo, you gotta dip up.
It has to be like the old man,
I've done it,
man, with the dollar on the insurance commercial. Almost got it. Almost got it.
No, I've been that guy.
Yeah. If you ever watch Cops, the audio on it's terrible.
Exactly.
It's real.
Watch Cops.
It's real.
You can't hear what anybody's saying because that shit's real.
Yeah.
That was the best reality show and worst reality show because no, Cops rules, but it started the problem.
Here's a scandal for you that I hate to admit. I used to be like, Cops is terrible. That's for trailer trash people.
And now,
that's awful. Yeah, that's not a thing to call people. But then one day I was sick or bored or depressed or whatever.
Or a combination of the three.
All of them at home, and Cops was on TV, and the channel could not be changed for whatever reason. And then I got sucked in. I was like, hey, you know what? Cops is actually pretty sweet.
What are those bad boys gonna do?
Yeah. Well, you're just like, this is for lamos and poor people and all of the people that I look down on. And then you watch it and you're like, no, this is pretty sick.
To answer Vince's question, surprisingly little. And here's what happens.
Wait, hold on. Why would Disney watch Terror Firmer? Why is anyone talking about Terror Firmer? Never talk about Terror Firmer, ever.
Well, let's talk about Terror
No,
Firmer.
we don't need to do. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay. Well, it's a trauma movie. If that's your first
I know
clue.
what it is, but I've never seen it.
It's about a guy who has his penis chopped off and pickled by his dad, who's played by Ron Jeremy. So then he goes around trying to pickle people's penises. And
A pickle penis pickler?
yeah,
A purple
and
penis pickler.
It takes place on like a movie set, kind of where they're filming Toxic Avenger movies, and he's like having sex with blind women because he's toxic and he's real ugly or whatever. In the meantime, this guy's going around chopping people's penises off and putting them in jars, and you see
Just pickling it.
you see what remains of him after Ron Jeremy's character forcibly stabs his dude. No, don't watch it. Why am I talking about it?
I don't know.
ever
You-
watch
you
Terror Firmer.
Took notes.
That's far beyond what Disney would ever. No, don't do that.
But to answer Vince's question,
Why, Sam?
most reality shows.
Sam Gunn wrote Terror
James
Firmer.
Gunn wrote it.
Oh.
Well, then there you go. There
James
you
Gunn
go.
wrote it.
And that was funny back then.
No, it wasn't. It was awful. It was terrible then. It's awful
It
now.
got made. It made more money than
It got
you
made
do.
by Troma.
Yeah, but according to Worthington's law, it made more money than you do, and is therefore beyond criticism.
If anyone's ever watched a Troma movie,
They're garbage.
oh hey, Cannibal Musical,
It's garbage, but it's
Toxic
fun.
Avenger.
It's garbage, but it's fun. I didn't say it wasn't fun. I'm just saying it's not very good. But reality TV does not do much ADR. They do the interview sessions. So what they do not get on camera in the actual moment, that's when they do those cutaways where it's like the shoulder up. And they go, "Oh man, and that day was crazy." And then I would know. I've been that guy on the other side of the camera.
James Gunn's tweets.
And yes,
are-
Troma is very much still in business. They are doing very, very well.
Really?
Yeah, man. I think they're working on the Toxic Avengers getting a remake, like a big money one.
Really? Like in national distribution in the theater?
Mhm.
A Troma movie?
Yeah, and it's not Kabuki Cop.
Was Kabuki Cop released in the movie theater?
No, but it should have been. All right. Well, I got it. I stuck it in there, Vince. I got it in there. But let's talk about movies coming out this weekend because it's already like 9 o'clock. Guess what? Medea's getting killed this weekend. I mean, that's something to celebrate.
Is it her funeral or is it just
A Medea family funeral. A joyous family reunion becomes a hilarious nightmare as Medea and the crew travel to backwoods Georgia, where they find themselves unexpectedly planning a funeral that might unveil unsavory family secrets.
Lloyd Kaufman of Troma worked on Rocky?
Hey, dude, Trauma's got a pedigree in there. But apparently this is supposed to be, according to Tyler Perry, the last Medea film. But Vince, no, sir. No, sir. Hell or no. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. I think that this is going to be one of those. Yeah, Medea is going to go to hell just like Jason did.
Oh, the next one, Hellerween.
Hellerween Medea goes to Heller.
Medea,
Yeah, and Heller. Medea and Heller.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't think that this is going to be the last Medea. It just depends on how much money this one makes. These generally don't have a humongous budget, so I have a feeling that we won't see the last. I mean, this won't be the last we see of Medea. I think we're going to get a little bit more.
If it's Medea goes to Heller, then I think all
To
of us
Heller
get
and
to-
back?
Yeah, Tyler Perry's going to owe us some money.
Dude, he will. Let's double down. Let's short call that bet. But honestly, that's the only movie opening this weekend in national release. Yeah, Medea X. I could do that one. Medea in
Was that
space.
the one in space? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really the only nationwide release. There is another Bollywood film coming out. Sonchin Chira revolves around, it's like a 1970s kind of action movie. No, I know it. Medea Takes Manhattan. We could do the final Medea, the final nightmare, the final. Just a lot. We could do all the Medeas. We could do. What's another good?
Freddy versus Medea.
Well, no, Medea would have to. She would have to fight. No, it'd be like Big Mama versus Medea, like Big Mama's house.
Oh, I know.
So Big Mama versus Medea versus the Clumps, and it's gonna be like just people in fat person makeup fighting each other, or it'll be like the Avengers, and we'll assemble like Mike Myers in as Fat Bastard. We'll assemble Big Mama. We'll assemble the Clumps. We'll assemble Medea. We'll CGI in Mrs. Doubtfire, and we'll just get them all. And they'll be this action squad.
Okay, the difference between all of those things and Mrs. Doubtfire is
Mrs. Doubtfire was good.
Is that's like a heart, like that tugs at your heartstrings and it makes you feel feels and learn lessons about families and accepting that divorce happens and that it's not the children's fault and that you can still have good relationships with all of the parents and that they can get along even if they're not together. And it's like
through the power of cross-dressing.
Yeah,
and
sure,
identity theft and breaking and entering.
Right, but that's because it's like it's showing the extreme, and then the movie wraps up with
the Clumps were from the Nutty Professor. To answer your question, but yes, they taught some good lessons.
Yeah, is Edna Turnblad like one of the nurse or the nannies that didn't work out in Mrs. Doubtfire? Anyhow, the point of it is, dude, you can't put that one in there. That's like the.
I was just thinking of fat old lady makeup dressing, cross dressing, whatever. That's what I was thinking of.
That would be like the Captain America, like the pure one.
Yeah, he'd be the leader. Miss Doubtfire would be the leader of the team. But anyway, opening in the theaters, Medea Family Funeral coming out.
White chicks could be in there.
White, ooh yeah. What are the white chicks doing these days? Where are the Wayans brothers? Which one was that? It was Marlon and who was the other one in there? Oh yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could have Travolta from Hairspray.
Oh no, ooh. I don't want to see Travolta anymore. Like, have you seen him lately?
He was in that Gotti movie, right?
Yeah. Welcome back, Gotti. Gotti. That one needs to be. No, let's talk about your wrestling movie.
Oh,
we gotta review some movies, man. We gotta review some movies because it's 9 o'clock. So let's talk about the film from Stephen Merchant in theaters right now, Fighting with My Family.
Written and directed by Stephen Merchant, produced by Dwayne Johnson.
Really, and probably who else? Does Vince McMahon get a check out of this?
Oh, I'm sure he does because his logos are everywhere in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he got to direct the narrative of this, but it is the film adaptation of the documentary by the same name, which was called The Wrestlers, Fighting with My Family, about, at the time, future and now once again current WWE superstar Paige, though it only goes from her journey from childhood to her first appearance on Monday Night Raw main roster. It doesn't get into the fact that she decided to quit WWE when she started fooling around with a wrestler who was on his way out, over 30 years older than her. They both became addicted to drugs, were arrested several times, fought each other physically in public, and had both been arrested while in airports.
Why wasn't this in the movie? Now I want to go see this movie.
She was then brought back to WWE following that because they were producing this movie and couldn't afford to let her go because they were too invested in her through this film, and they gave her another chance at wrestling, and then she had to retire due to physical injuries, and they brought her back in several different capacities, and her battle with drugs and other addictions and having all of her self-filmed pornographies published online at the same time, co-starring several other famous WWE wrestlers who seem to have skirted all troubles from that due to her addictions and missteps taking the forefront there. But instead, you don't get any of that fun story.
What?
You get the very fake, very fairy tale, very edited,
Very Nick Frost
tale
Yeah.
of see you, Sam.
Oh, Sam.
The fighting with my family, and you have some real talent going into this movie. Lena Headey, Nick Frost, Vince Vaughn, and then it has guest roles by The Rock and Stephen Merchant himself. There's a lot of big acting talent in there, absolutely wasted.
So the trailer makes it look like a comedy, but all the things that you talked about were...
Yeah, the trailer has like goofy, like clown music and like goofy jokes. The whole thing is played for drama and dramatic effect. And if you've ever seen the documentary or if you know anything of the real story, you can tell that the only information they had for this was the documentary. And they just caricatured people from that and limited their story to excerpts from the 40-minute long documentary and stretched it into a 2-hour film. And obviously didn't go further into it than that. I'm sure that blockades were put up by WWE.
Well, you got to protect the brand.
And it's super inaccurate for things like that. The way that they portray her brother to try and add some dramatic flair to it. And then the way that they portray the journey to the WWE, they try to make it look as TV friendly as possible, portraying it as a episode of Tough Enough rather than
another reality show.
Yeah, another reality show put on by WWE, rather than what an actual journey of a wrestler would be. So they completely skip over any time in NXT. They don't show anything that it would take in the years and struggles of becoming a wrestler. They make it seem like you run through a few obstacle courses, do some weightlifting, and then you debut on the main roster and win a championship. So
sounds easy.
Lena Headey and Nick Frost turned excellent performances. Vince Vaughn, this is probably the best movie he's been in a very long time as far as his acting goes. And they're all put into a made-for-TV remake of a documentary that has a touch of dramatic flair added in the form of the brother. And that's it.
So did you like it?
No. No. It was difficult. You could tell that it was something that they were trying to just get out there so they can have their whole women's movement. Shout out Becky Lynch, like trying to cash in on things like that and not go too far into the reality of things, but have like a girl power cash grab.
Girl power cash grab. The 2018 story.
Yeah, anyone could have made this movie if they would have watched 15 minutes of the documentary and lost interest in it and been like, you know what? There's a movie in there.
Well,
and there's nothing extra to it beyond what the documentary shows. It's scene for scene what you see in the documentary. Like they set it up so that there's no differences. So you don't get any more of the story, but you do get a lot less of the story. And it seems like that infamous WWE Iron Curtain big wall, that Trump would be jealous of, who is in the WWE Hall of Fame. That's because he offered Trump Plaza for the filmings of lots of WWE events back in the day.
And wrestled that time. I've seen the clips.
He didn't wrestle, but he was in a hair-for-hair match with Vince McMahon, and they both had stand-in wrestlers, which was Bobby Lashley and I forget who else. And Vince's head got shaved.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, The Rock pumps himself up quite a bit in the movie.
Well, duh. Why wouldn't he?
And he was a good part of it. He was.
So was he playing like
himself?
I know, but like, how does that? Because he's aged.
Right.
How long ago did this take place?
Only a few years ago. The initial documentary, which if you watch it, looks like it was filmed and takes place in the early 90s, or actually happened about 6 years ago, 6 or 7. And Paige has been a part of the WWE for about 4.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that recent.
It's all very, very recent. That's what I'm saying. They're far too invested in the movie and the character for them to have called it quits when Paige decided to walk out on her contract, break all of her obligations and attempt to get out of her contract, and all of that, which would have made for a far more interesting movie. And, they talk about it in that The Rock, his interest in it being that he is from a wrestling family, just like Paige's. Her dad, her mom, her sister, both of her brothers, all of them are wrestlers. The Rock is from the Anawai family. Would have been a lot more interesting of a movie, but 91%
on Rotten Tomatoes, 70% on Metacritic. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I don't like review sites. I don't like aggregate scores. I don't like number metrics.
But
you can tell maybe what's going on there.
And you're saying thought that I would like it, and it's getting good reviews, but there's nothing to it. It's every bit of script was written from small 1-sentence excerpts from a documentary. That's like if you watched 5 minutes of this show and you're like, I'm going to make a documentary about the lives of the Griff and the boom operator. And then
what a tight movie that would be.
Yeah, and then our lives are just portrayed to you through small excerpts, of insane things that we've said on this show.
I watched that.
It lacked any depth to it or real storytelling. And instead, they tried to shot for shot remake a documentary into a film narrative, and it just doesn't translate well. But I think it's
like wrestling.
Yeah, The Rock gets to be a producer. Stephen Merchant gets to be a writer and director. So it's something where they're trying to step into bigger shoes from the film careers that they currently have.
Vince said that.
I see that.
Yeah, and I agree.
Why are you bringing up old shit and teaming up with this guy, man?
Because I'm right.
I've never been like, what's freaking
super tight?
Sick?
Journey 2.
Yeah, Journey 2 where they ride bees. It's the jam.
Yeah, all the time. And that Emoji Movie, loving that Emoji Movie. Just over here, this guy lurbing it.
I do have a set of Emoji Movie figures.
Yeah.
That are on prominent display in my abode.
We need some more. We need some table bric-a-brac. Like, we need set pieces. That's what we need up here.
Just roll into the Fall Labs with
just boxes of junk.
Trunks full of stuff every week.
And there's more crap. Yeah. Like the little dentist chest over in the corner. I mean, you already got foam mats over there.
Are we going to have the little beads that you push on?
Yeah, the beads on the wire. It's a different kind of beads. Those are upstairs in the loft. But giving shout outs to Andy. What's up, dude? We don't have a whole heck of a lot of time left, but I know that Oscars happened last night. I don't normally like talking about the Oscars, and I'm not going to talk very long about the Oscars because I don't want to step on any landmines. Because 2019, the landmines are out there. But just a very short summary of the Academy Awards. It was kind of interesting not having a host. I think that helped cut out a lot of the crap. But I will say that it's as predictably pandering and self-serving as it's always ever been. And I think that with everybody saying, progress takes time, is what I really want to get to, and it doesn't happen overnight, and you can't just sling awards out to placate people that you think are going to be mad at you. and the Oscars have for a long time, given out pity Oscars, have given out things, but now more than ever, they've become the People's Choice Awards. And, some people got Academy Awards last night that deserved them far long ago. And I say this about everybody that gets a pity Oscar. And I'm just going to say it right now, Spike Lee, I don't think deserved an Oscar for Black Klansman, but by God, deserved one way before now. And, the giant list of movies that he deserved one for before now. But, when you just give awards away. Hey, dude.
Hold up, bro. Because these award shows, and part of why we don't like them is because it's the industry handing out awards for the industry, right? Mm-hmm. And a big part of that is you got to know how to be a part of that and talk to people and deal with their stuff and suck up to people and be a part of their crap. And Spike Lee does this thing where he rubs everyone that he possibly can the wrong way.
It's kind of his brand.
Yeah, on purpose, though, when maybe he doesn't have to.
Well,
and that's, I'm just saying,
it's his brand.
You can make any kind of movie you want, but if you're too busy telling everyone else in the industry that they can stick it, then those people aren't going to be like, oh, you know what would be sick to give this guy a raise.
Well, it's an interesting landscape that we're in right now, and I think that last night's show was only more proof that the whole system's broken.
Wow, no, and, Sean Penn is such a good actor, you can't even say that.
Bro, Sean Penn,
range, Spicoli dog,
I guess. But again, what I'm getting at is don't measure what these movies are by their winning an Academy Award. It's just silly. And I think that the moment we all stop giving a big crap about the Academy Awards is the moment where we all kind of start, appreciating movies a little bit better and learning about movies a little bit better. And don't wait for some asshat and that's a member of the Academy to tell you what's good and what's bad. And what always cracks me up is everyone's like, yeah, those Academy idiots are so stupid and they don't know nothing and blah, blah, blah. So where's my award? It's like, why do you even care about it? If they're so dumb, then why are you measuring your worth off of something that you think is trash? And I get it because you're probably going to go, well, because everybody else thinks it's cool. And it's like, well, who cares? Who cares what they think?
Because if you hold one of those, then people hand you more money.
Right.
And put you in more projects.
And you become a bigger part of the fucking system that's
broken. They're so stupid that these people won't help me further my career for reasons. And I need more money and more offers on the table.
It's so stupid that they've got all this money that I want. And I want to be on the top and do exactly what they're doing.
What's really funny is that a lot of those actors and actresses, or just actors for both genders, or whatever, however you want to look at it, directors, people, they're like, oh, this is stupid that they don't even consider it. I'm going to cause a big stink and make it like a public relations thing.
So I get one.
Just so that they can have more money and more opportunities. And meanwhile, all of you are sitting here being like, yeah, that ain't right. That's unacceptable. And they're just like, yeah, for sure. Totally those reasons, not because I'll get more money and more projects.
Yeah, you know what'd be awesome is if we just shut the Academy down altogether. Wouldn't that be tight? Then things might actually start to change. Go figure.
No one gets this worked up about the SAG awards.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
What's up with that?
Well, no one's writing letters to the Screen Actors Guild, because they don't watch that on TV for the pretty dresses. Fuck all that. And there's so many dumbass award shows out there, so people can just add things to their deal to get themselves more money and more patting themselves on the back, so they can get invited to another dinner party and wear some other jewelry that they don't own and they can return, so that some fashion designer can pay them off to wear it. And it's just such a factory of garbage. And nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And if you think that we're making progress, we are doing the opposite. We are treading water. And again, I just can't stress how much I don't give a crap about the Oscars. There you go. I'm not going to get too far into it any more than that. But it's, yeah, speaking of what makes decisions for real, let's do the box office totals. How about that? Because that's really the Academy Awards right there, is the box office totals. Which
get boosted by this dumb award show.
Oh, absolutely.
Movies that everyone was like, I don't think I want to watch that the first time around. And like, but some butthole at Cannes or Sundance thinks it's really good, and you're like,
whatever. But then you go, Academy Award. Well, yeah. I wanted to see that the whole time, but I was just so busy. But now, yeah, I totally saw that. I totally saw that in theaters because I'm sophisticated. Why didn't you go see it when I was in there the first time? I was just busy. So stop lying. Stop fueling the fire of sheep fire. Just a big old sheep fire. And but the box office. Let's talk about that.
Hashtag don't set sheep on fire.
Don't set them on fire.
The grip cares. So
we're going to talk about the box office total for February 22nd to 24th, 2019. It's the top 10 movies in America. From 10 to number 1, we're going to tell you how much they made this weekend. We're going to tell you how much they've made in all their weekends. And we're going to talk about it. And the reason we only give you domestic totals is because domestic totals are what gets green light for new projects. And that's what makes more money. Money begets money begets money. And so if something does well, we're going to see more of it. If something doesn't do as well, we're going to see less of it. So starting with number 10, opening up at number 10, the Tim Tebow movie, Run the Race.
What? Never even heard of this.
Yeah, well, not a lot of people did either. And it came in at number 10. It did not do very well at all, opening up in only 800 theaters nationwide, but came in with $2.1 million in its opening weekend. It is playing here. It's playing. We are one of those 800 theaters right here in Northwest Arkansas.
You got Cross Church.
Showing up. Number 9, The Upside from STX, bringing in $3.1 million in its 7th weekend release, still hanging in there, bringing in $99 million to the box office, doing very, very well for itself. It has almost tripled its budget, doing great. Next up, number 8, Cold Pursuit from Lionsgate. Did you go see that? We talked about it last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's so much different than any of the other Liam Neeson movies.
It is, remember, because it's a remake of a Norwegian Skarsgård movie. I told you about it, and you're like, oh.
If you want to hear the Grip's full review, guess what? You can check it out on our YouTube channel. You can check it out on our Facebook page or our Periscope. All of those things you can check out. You can find those older episodes. And again, share with your friends, like and subscribe. Again, now that we're moving strictly to web, I know that, last week, had some audio problems, but look, now we've got fancy new mics. We're going to be constantly improving the show, and the more people that like, subscribe, share, and watch these videos, the more we're going to improve. So guess what? The more you look at something, the better it gets. It's just like what we've been talking about the whole fucking time.
Unless it's like, something that's legit broken, like your car, or like
just like keep looking at it. It'll get better or something. Only content. We're only talking about content here. So yeah, number 8, Cold Pursuit. So far in its third weekend.
At this. Help it get better here.
Oh, Dina, if you want to get murdered by Dina, join Fantasy Movie League. She will annihilate you. Dina, have you ever played the Hollywood Stock Exchange? Because I think you'd really dig that too. The HSX. I used to play that in high school. I think it's still around. But hsx.com.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, nerd alert. But yeah, I used to do that. I wonder what my portfolio is sitting at right now, because there were movies that were speculative like 10 years ago, and I would invest heavily in them. And I wonder if I'm gonna have to log that in.
Vince, you know what? Yeah, that we'll see about that being a thing.
We'll see.
Need to talk it to Merle.
Driving video game box.
Yeah, make that
about that.
Dude, video games and video games are so cinematic, man.
Yeah, I don't even play the games anymore. I just watch the cinematics of the games.
Straight up, dude.
Skip through.
Yeah.
Your boy Grip could play. Like, I still need to finish Red Dead and stuff like nonsensical video games. I just bought Yakuza Kiwami 2. Like, I'm behind that curve, but like
Yakuza Kiwami
Yakuza Kiwami
2.
Yeah. Kiwami's like Redux.
Oh. Yakuza Kiwami.
Mm-hmm.
I still never finished Shenmue.
Well, good news, dude. You can buy Shenmue 1 and 2
I know.
together in anticipation for Shenmue 3.
I know. Yeah, that game was so awesome.
You can balance the books and fail at it 100 times.
Dude, I know. Let's see what else. Number 7, Happy Death Day to You. Doing pretty abysmally compared to its predecessor, but from Universal bringing in $4.8 million in its second weekend release. Still making its numbers, though. $9 million budget, bringing in $21.5 million.
That's not really the numbers you used to see from horror movies
I know,
like that.
But that turnover, $9 million, $21 million, still doing pretty good. But in the second week, that's kind of low, especially since it was a Valentine's that just happened. And Valentine's is usually a good horror movie time because date nights. Anyway, it's weird, but it's true. Number 6, What Men Want from Paramount, bringing in $5.2 million in its third weekend release. $20 million budget brought in $45 million, so it's making its money back too somehow.
Why?
It's what people want, I guess. Number 5, Isn't It Romantic from Warner Brothers, bringing in $7 million in its second weekend release, so far bringing in $33 million at the box office. Number 4, Fighting With My Family from MGM, bringing in $7.8 in its second weekend release. Kind of a low. It's technically its second weekend in release, but it was a very limited release. So this is opening week.
Was its first week just?
It was in
New York, LA.
Yeah, it was in 20 theaters. But it came out. This is its opening, but $7 million, not a great release. But it did have some pretty hefty competition. Namely, number 3, the Lego Movie 2, the second part, from Warner Brothers, bringing in 9.6 in its third week, up to $83 million.
Well, that, like I said, your audience for that are going to primarily be wrestling fans, and wrestling fans are going to have a good idea of the real story and or have seen the documentary. And so why would you pay $12 to go to the movie theater
to see the less version?
To watch a farcical version of something you already know more about than what it's willing to present to you.
Yeah. And also, to Dina's point there, from YouTube chiming in saying this is the year is tough or hard. January is better. That is actually very true. That is a very true metric of film trends. Number 2, Alita Battle Angel from Fox in its second weekend release, dropping down to number 2, bringing in only $12 million this week, up against its $170 million budget. Had a pretty strong opening weekend, but now dropped down to $61 million total domestic gross. Pretty slow drop, or rapid drop from its previous week down to only bringing in $12 million.
Get clapping emojis for quit making anime movies, live action.
Please, can we? And now it's surrounded by the whole whitewashing thing again.
It takes place in Kansas City in the original source material.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on, it's and it's all because people are uninformed.
Japanese people are allowed to write stories about people that live outside of Japan.
And they do it all the time. I mean, Full Metal Alchemist is about European dudes.
Oh, yeah, but I'm sure that if they have a live action movie of that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that if Hollywood made one, they're like, well, how come the blonde character is a white kid? It's like,
yeah, I don't know. The world, it's because people are not informed. People do not do their homework.
How come this French baker man?
Oh man, I don't know. People, man.
Yeah.
But number 1 movie in America, which kind of surprised me because this is a franchise that I kind of thought had died. And not like died, but usually when a franchise transitions into that direct to DVD and then like television and then whatever. Like, I never expected to come back to feature-length theater movie that's going to do very well. But I stand corrected from Universal, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, coming in with a pretty nice $55 million opening. Like, whoa. Bringing it up to its soft opening night of $57 million total domestic, up against a $129 million budget. But yeah, I mean,
that's more than 4 times what Alita paid.
Yeah.
It's a number 2 movie.
But I'm just really surprised that How to Train Your Dragon was able to dominate, again, for being, it's had that TV show out for a while. Was it a Netflix show? Or,
they've had a couple different ones. Yeah, there's been some Netflix originals. I think
and they're bad. They're really
like an actual TV series.
Because I really enjoyed the first, two movies, and they were good. And then I was like, well, I like How to Train Your Dragon. I'll watch the Netflixy ones.
Well,
and they were bad.
But I think a part of it is that DreamWorks usually turns in solid feature films.
Yeah.
And with animation, the same thing could be said about anything. Pixar or Disney, like Cars, did the same type of thing. And DreamWorks has been doing it too with the Minions and everything like that, and still having fairly successful Despicable Me sequels and things like that. So I think when you're talking about kids and things like that, they usually don't care about a drop in quality. Yeah. Or they can separate it out, or they can decide they like the movies and not the show, and only want to watch the movies and disregard the show, and all sorts of things, man.
Train Your Dragon. So, expect a lot of dragon toys to hit your Happy Meals and local department stores.
Yo, you know what? There's been a big resurgence in toy-wise. Harry Potter stuff, man.
Coming back?
Yeah, dude, there's all sorts of new Harry Potter toys. And right now you can buy, like, full foot-long, like, mystery wands.
Ooh.
It comes wrapped up, and it's a mystery wand. You open it up. It's like one of 9.
What? Okay.
It's pretty sick.
Well, let's talk about something. What the hell is with... I mean, how did they figure this out? How did toy companies figure out how to sell us shit in a box that we don't know what it is?
Oh, God.
Like, what the hell?
It's like lottery, but like...
No,
toys.
There's so many toys like this that are just like, oh, what could it be? And you're like, I don't know.
Boxing effect.
Yeah. Well, you know what, dude? The thing with the wands, too, it even says it on the outside. It says the wand chooses the wizard.
No, it doesn't.
The movie plays into it. Yeah. They use the movie to
No, the marketing genius chose your dad or mommy's wallet. Like,
yeah, but that's from the movies. They're like, the wand chooses the wizard.
Oh, my God.
And then you, as a kid or 30-year-old, you're like, oh, what? The wand chooses the wizard, so whichever one I get,
that's me.
Yeah.
This is for me. And it's like, no, I had my first experience with these, like...
They're actually pretty safe, so that's plus.
With these mystery, like, I'm giving you my, like, why can't, oh, because, okay, it was these horror movie toy keychains, right? And it was like, okay, well, I'll buy a couple and I should just get all of them, right? If, like, by process of elimination, if, they all seem to be pretty good. But I wanted David from the Lost Boys, and
of course you did.
And I was like, well, okay, well, there's 8 figures. I'll buy 8 packages, and probably, hopefully I'll get David, right? I mean, the odds are probably in my favor. And then, no, I don't remember when people bought empty Star Wars boxes. They bought it because they were collectible. They bought it because the value was going up, not because they were like, oh, let me see if there's a surprise inside. They were like, well, there used to be an AT-AT in here, but no one has the box anymore, so I'm going to buy the empty box because the box is valuable. Like, no one's buying the, like, who's he, what's it wrapper. No, that's chance. That's a different, that's the quarter. You can see it, and you're like, yeah. And it's only a quarter. These things are like $10, and some of them even more than that.
Yeah,
and,
no, there was a thing that I saw at the toy aisle yesterday. Don't judge me, y'all. and it's like a little mystery box. You open it, and then it's like a pile of dirt. And you have to dig through it to find like you're like a fossil digger discoverer. But they have a samurai skeleton. It's all different skeletons, and there's one that's a samurai. I'm like, oh, I need that one. But it was $15 to get a figure this big that would normally cost you, $75.
Nothing.
And I was like,
nothing.
there's no way I'm gonna pay $15 for the chance of getting a.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go to a playground, and I'm gonna dig a bunch of holes and put like dollar shit in it, right? Just dumb dollar.
Geocaching. That's what that is.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go, hey kids, give me $20, and I'll give you the shovel, and you can go out there and dig it, and you might find a toy, and they'll be like, yes, please, because that's essentially what the hell is happening right now.
And you're talking like the diamond mines?
Yes, it's crazy. And yeah, and it is like buying trading cards. But you know what? Trading cards are like $1.99. These are like $10 to $20. And you're not gonna find like a rare Daryl Strawberry or whatever I thought I was gonna get when I was a kid. Like the only upper decker that was happening was like the figurative like turd in the top of my toilet that I never got what I wanted. Jeez. I don't have any more drink in my butt. Anyway.
Fucking toys. Sips butt.
Just the smart. Everything's broken.
You could put soup in that and you could eat ass.
Hatchimals. Yes. The hell. God. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, we've got to get to work. We've got jobs that happen after 9 o'clock. So
support us so that we don't have to.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, share it. Come on. Like, if you think this is funny,
make this our job, and then we'll talk about hopping on Twitch and playing video games. And
no joke.
Making that my job.
Yeah. And then we'll upgrade.
It'll start off playing old games, and then I'll be funny about it. And then
yeah, like the guy that got famous just playing old games like that and cussing at it. Like I do that all the time.
You scan and flat and play your video games and retro games.
Oh yeah, I could be like the Twitch girls.
Dude, I've got all original retro games. I don't need to play these on an emulator. Like I can stick the freaking cartridge in. Do it for real.
Let's call it
Me.
Ooh.
Have you never seen my retro video game collection? Epic. 2 hot dogs coming up. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We will be back again next Monday. Tell your friends, share it. Fun news. Shameless self-promotion tomorrow at Pinpoint, located across the parking lot behind us. We're going to be having our tournament night. And it will be free to enter, and Fossil Cove is going to be sponsoring. So you can check it out. They're bringing their limited edition blackberry cream ale. It's going to be on tap. It's the only place you can get on tap outside of the brewery. And if you get a pint of that, you get to keep the Fossil Cove pint glass.
Oh, sick.
And yeah, pretty cool. And then we're going to be doing the pinball tournament. We're going to be playing Black Knight and first plays on Jurassic Park, which we're going to have up and running. In honor of Fossil Cove coming in and sponsoring the tournament tomorrow. So that's
pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's going to be tomorrow between 8 and 10. So you can check that out. Yep, right there, sharing it in our chat feed. Very cool.
I like how the ... got turned into
HTTP. But yeah, the link right there in the chat. You can check out that event. And that's going on tomorrow night at Pinpoint. So with that said, any other announcements that you want to drop in there, Greg?
No, I got nothing.
Oh, John used to work there. So he's just making jokes. Just making jokes. But anyway. All right, guys. We're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.